So, David, I guess I want to start by bringing up this one story, which we have not really talked about. Maybe we'll do this later in the week. This idea that this new Ecos poll shows that just by virtue of Justin Trudeau leaving the Liberals, announcing he would no longer, of course, continue on as head of the party and prime minister, for the first time in I don't know how long, the Liberals are actually polling better.
Yeah, and it is interesting, and there was some suggestion of this because there's other polls that are starting to show, for example, with Mark Carney as the leader, there could be a bump. But in reading polls, as you very well know, Aaron, when you're reading polls, you before you start talking about a real change in the electorate, you have to see a few of these in a row.
Right.
And so this is the first one. It's from a reputable firm. But before we start saying, oh, my goodness, something is happening, let's wait. And also, we won't know until the end of the race, until March, who the actual leader will be. And there's still plenty of campaign left before we know who is going to lead the Liberals. Right now, today, it looks like Mark Carney is the favorite, but we never know. And today is a very important day in the Liberal race because today is the last day you can sign up members that can actually vote for leader of the federal Liberals. So we'll see. But it's definitely interesting. But again, you look, for example, at the Léger poll that came out for Quebec. The Liberals are trailing both the Bloc and the Conservatives pretty badly. I mean, the Conservatives are actually showing some strength in Quebec, according to the Léger, where they're up to 26%, something that we haven't seen in ages. And so the Bloc still comfortably in the lead, but still just 34-35%, which is the same number that the Bloc had back in 2019 and 2021. So it's in flux for sure, but even at 31%, the Conservatives are still, according to the Ecos poll, at 37-38, and that's majority territory. So I wouldn't start panicking just yet if I was Pierre Poilievre.
So let's go back to the leadership race, the Liberal race, if we can, for just a minute. We saw François-Philippe Champagne hanging out with Mark Carney the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you heard the clip. I was kind of taken aback a little bit, and I know he was on with Vashi Kapelas. It almost sounded like François-Philippe Champagne was going to be co-prime minister with Mark Carney if they won. It's just, I didn't get it quite. So I know you're backing the guy, but so we have a plan, and we have a this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It sounded a little bizarre?
Well, I didn't see it as bizarre. When you know François-Philippe Champagne and his style of politics, I mean, he took him around. I mean, he showed Mark Carney what retail politics was, and I thought it was a great day because they went on the farm, they went to see a Shawinigan Cataracts junior hockey game. They talked to people. It was really on the ground stuff that actually has made François-Philippe Champagne into a formidable political force in Quebec and a great politician, just like his mentor, Jean Chrétien, was. So I think what you saw there is a very influential and powerful minister in the Liberal cabinet doing everything he could to send a very strong message to all the volunteers, fundraisers, members of the Liberal Party, both in Quebec and across Canada, that this is our guy. And especially when you contrast that to Chrystia Freeland, who was also in Quebec yesterday, and she chose to do Tout le monde en parle. And, you know, she basically tried to position herself as anti-establishment of the Liberal Party, that after being vice prime minister and finance minister and one of the closest confidants of Justin Trudeau in cabinet for 9 years. But also, it's the contrast was great because Chrystia Freeland has not been able to garner as much support in cabinet and with high-profile MPs. She has not been able to show momentum on the ground. You haven't seen the type of retail politics. And also, I got to say, the way I felt it yesterday is François-Philippe Champagne saying, look, listen up, people. This is a great guy. And what Mark Carney did also was, again, and since he announced, I thought so far, I got to say, not a lot of big mistakes from Mark Carney, and he is successfully dispelling what was the number one fear of everybody: is he another Michael Ignatieff? And he's not another Michael Ignatieff, and he's proving that. And think about this, Aaron, having a former governor of the Bank of Canada, of the Bank of England, UN envoy, all this and that, working for big investment firms all over the world, and he's on the farm. He's going to a Quebec junior hockey game with François-Philippe Champagne, the Energizer Bunny himself. I thought rather it was a positive, not a negative.
Yeah, positive, I guess. It just struck me as odd. You know, it's kind of like I said with Quebec's provincial leadership race when I had Charles Milliard, or rather Pablo Rodriguez in studio with Fred Beauchemin, and every press conference they did, they were there together. It was like they were, just like holding hands kind of a thing. I'm like, you're running, you're not. You actually dropped out, so why together? I kind of felt that way yesterday about François-Philippe Champagne.
I get, but I think, first of all, I see François-Philippe Champagne also playing a very, very shrewd game here of positioning himself both for today and the future as the true voice of Quebec within the federal Liberal Party. Remember, Mélanie Joly is trying to do the same thing. I think what François-Philippe Champagne is saying is that I'm the one that speaks for Quebec on this team. I am the lieutenant of Quebec on this team. I'm the economic voice of Quebec on this team. And I would probably be Mark Carney's finance minister in a Liberal government.
Fair enough. I would ask as well then, given that, so we know this afternoon, the list of those backing Mark Carney got a little longer. Mark Miller came out, and now he's officially backing him as well.
Well, again, that is showing, and I think there's like some parallels to be made with, remember the rollout of all the support behind Kamala Harris? It was very well choreographed. And again, you didn't have all these, you had Mélanie Joly coming out minutes before Chrystia Freeland announced her candidacy. Yeah. Then you had a bunch of other ministers coming out. You're seeing clearly that what I would say the Trudeau establishment is clearly saying Mark Carney's our guy, and that is a not so subtle message to, again, all those volunteers, all those fundraisers, all those people in the Writing Association saying, look, this is our guy. And so, I'm not surprised, and you may see more between now and the next few weeks.
So last thing I just wanted to bring up. So, look, I'm not sure this really has anything that we can necessarily sort of weigh in on, but the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has Senate appointments to make. I kind of put these in the same idea with those last-minute pardons that the President Biden had to make on his way out. Who's getting these jobs, and can I have one?
Funny that you think about criminals or possible criminals in the U.S. when you talk about the Canadian Senate. No, of course not, but it's funny. It's funny, but at the same time, the idea here is that, you know what, it's politics. For a guy that, never really believed in the Senate, he's trying to use it to try maybe down the road to try to hamstring a Poilievre government. The institution needs reform, but again, it's a constitutional quagmire to try to get any type of amendments through. And so it's the only trap here, Aaron, for Justin Trudeau if this is just a one-off, I mean, this is just inside baseball. But if you start having some more patronage appointments just before he leaves, then you might recreate, you'll remember this, back in 1984 when Pierre-Elliott Trudeau did the same thing, and Brian Mulroney pounced on that in a very famous exchange during a debate against John Turner. You had a choice. Remember that sentence?
Sure, of course.
So, and so this is the idea. If Justin Trudeau starts going crazy and starts using his final weeks in office to make nominations left and right, it could hang around the neck of the next Liberal leader on top of everything else.
Okay, interesting. All right, David, thank you so much.